Fans, good evening and welcome to Let's Play Soccer for this Women's Major League Indoor Soccer match between your home team, Kalamazoo Sioux City FC, and the visiting Fort Wayne Summit City Sentinels. Introducing our roadside from Fort Wayne, the Summit City Sentinels, led by Coach Will Castillo. And now it's time to meet your players for Sioux City FC. Your starting goalkeeper, number 1, Jordan Hartman. Number 3, Soleil Ty Baker. Number 4, Nadia Anzalba. Number 5, Maria Maurer. Number 6, Prada Musser. Number 8, Cora Henke. Number 10, Sarah Bruns. Number 11, Marissa Miranda. Number 13, Morgan Hathaway. Our captain, number 14, Emma Collins. Number 15, Jalen Ben Boldenberg. Your captain, number 16, Jessica Kennedy. Number 18, Diane Hurtado. Number 20, Piper Wenmar. Number 23, Emily Vargas. And number 49, Nikki Page. Kalamazoo's coach by Michael Ricker, assistant coach Nabil Mackey. At this time, we ask all those who are able to please rise and gentlemen remove your caps. Good performance of our national anthem.
Alrighty, good afternoon to everyone tuning in to Women's Major League Indoor Soccer today. My name is Maya Pasillas, the voice of Zoo City FC for the 2025-2026 season, and I welcome you to today's matchup against your Zoo City team and Fort Wayne Summit City. We're just about ready to get started here. They already introduced starting lineups as well as the national anthem if you were tuned in for that. Both teams have met twice before, with Summit City winning both of those matchups, one being 7-6, and then this past weekend 6-3. Summit City currently stands 2-1 on the season and have been showing a lot of promise, scoring on average 5 goals a game. Zoo City notably has had some trouble opening up their season, as they are now standing 0-4 on the season. Now, a lot of the times you might hear that and you might be quick to be, you know what, they're not doing well this season. And that's very quick and easy to write off. But this team still has a lot that they want to show, a lot that they want to capitalize. And I actually spoke with head coach Mike Rayburn before the game, and he also mentioned how he thinks that they're slowly finding key elements to even up the score line and even up this game. So we're just about ready now, getting both teams just about set to get out of the huddle. All officials getting ready to stand in their positions as well. Just going to give it a second. But as I was saying, Zoo City FC head coach Mike Rayburn, really just talking about how this team is figuring out how to stay true to their playing style, continue playing how they play, rather than kind of submitting to the opposing team and kind of like changing up their style play during games, because they feel like that's kind of where the game starts to slip from them when they decide, okay, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and kind of convert to the opposing team's playing style. With that being said, it does look like we are just about ready. Diane Hurtado, first year on Zoo City FC, one of the youngest players on the team as well, goes ahead and gets Zoo City FC started. Couple of taps back and forth here, just setting their feet early. That's Maria Maurer with a couple nice foot touches there. Musser passes it over. Muster still now one-on-one. The official kind of gets involved there. Going down the line, a nice stop there by, I believe that's Jessica Kennedy. Trying to connect with Hurtado, gets cut up right there. Lima tries to move past, and then Kennedy's just going to clip the back of her heel. Natalia Lima, you could argue one of the most important players on this Summit City team. You'll find them a lot of the times playing that long ball and just connecting downfield with Natalia Lima. So expect her to be kind of laying low. Now Lima working in the corner. Tries to connect somewhere in the middle, and that's not going to work out just yet. Both teams already trying to look for a scoring window. Reyes passes it over. Kind of switching sides of attack here. Lima turns, tries to get past two, and that's not going to work out with Bolin getting in there defensively. Lima trying to connect at the end of the ball. She was able to get the deflection off the wall, and now she's just trying to get around here, and nothing's going to work out just yet. Reyes once again setting up, and a little bit of a miscue there as they try to connect down the middle, and now it's Kennedy with the ball. Tries to send it down the line to Hurtado, and once again, the connection is not made. Bolin doing well to break that up. She has an opportunity to try to get it to Hurtado, and nothing yet. Lima now with a back heel touch. Has a connection, and Hartman's there to pick it up. Jordan Hartman wearing the yellow and purple, goalkeeper for Zoo City FC. Couple of more connections in the back line here for Summit City. Connecting to their back, Carmen Swigard. Hartman pushes it all the way forward to Hurtado. Hurtado still trying to get to the ball. Reyes is able to kind of breathe there and break that up. Musser, couple of dribbles. Still trying to find a path here. She's covered pretty well. You can kind of hear head coach Mike Rayburn telling the team to move around the field. Both sides a little bit cold on their feet right now, having some trouble opening up some spaces and committing to the attacking zone. Hartman now connects with Boland. Boland has a connection with Musser. Musser now trying to spin around here, spin around Mosh Tahiti, and Tahiti doing a good job to kind of run that down. Boland once again sends it down all the way there. A little bit of trouble, but Swigard is able to exit cleanly. It was Jessica Kennedy who was kind of lurking down there, captain for this Zoo City FC side. Boland sends it into the net, and that's going to be possession to Summit City. So a couple of switches. Morgan Hadaway steps onto the field. Hurtado steps back on as well. And then you have Maurer for Zoo City FC.
That's the owner of the team, and then Leak didn't sell her.
Hartman being tested early, and that one's just high. Hurtado passes it over to Musser. Musser tries to connect with Maurer. There is a whistle there. So they're going to start it back up on a quick set piece here for Musser. She does do that connection to Maurer. Maurer having a little bit of trouble. She loses it there. Connection with Lima. Lima now with a couple of foot touches. She has to go to some support there as Hadaway did her job defensively. Now working down the line. It's going to get to Hartman, and Hartman's going to scoop it up cleanly. A little bit of a dangerous ball, and it's going to offer possession to Summit City here. Hurtado trying to apply the pressure. And they're able to reset in the back line. Natalia Lima with another back heel touch. We've already seen that a couple times, and now it looks like the official kind of stepped in there to break that one up. Shot is blocked by Emma Boland. And Morgan Hadaway applying the pressure. Now you got a one-on-one here. They slide it. Slip ball through to Natalia Lima. Still trying to connect down the middle. And Zoo City FC is able to get out of it cleanly. Hadaway sends it all the way downfield. And that's going to be a defensive clearance. You're going to have to set the ball on the line there. That's going to give an opportunity, a nice one at that, to Zoo City FC to kind of set up a clean play. They go short to Musser. Musser tries to get a deflection off the wall. Some work in the middle. The shot is let off, but it's wide. Hadaway doing a nice job. Shot wide. Hurtado lets it fly. And that's something you're going to see often from the young star. She is just able to let it fly from anywhere on the field. A lot of power behind her right foot. A beautiful shot just wide and high there. So sometimes it can get a little bit difficult to transition from outside soccer to indoor soccer. So could be something there to keep an eye on. Now sent down the line to Kennedy. Kennedy trying to recover the ball. Instead, it gets to the hands of Swigard. Hartman to reset. Uses the wall nicely. Connects with Piper Winnemar. And she's met with some pressure. She's going to try to find a way to get out of it, and will successfully turns. Off the wall and into the hands of Hartman. Winnemar moving down the line, connects with Musser. And now gets kind of taken over here. Ortega was able to break up the pass. Swigard, connection downfield. Looks like they're trying to lead down the field. Natalia Lima is not on the field right now. Is usually, their pathway.
Yeah, just tone it a little bit. Not too loud, but yeah, during media timeout, you can play music. Just keep it down. That's fine.
Swigard again, and she's way off her line. Really confident there as Kennedy applies the pressure and is causing some trouble here as Ortega has to leave it off to the goalie. Pushing the other way now, and Bolin does a good job to kind of break that up. Excuse me, that was Van Valkenburg. Down the field, and Summit City still kind of majority playing this first quarter in Sioux City FC's half as Musser starts to drive, trying to beat one. He's going to instead have to backpedal back to the feet of Hartman. Hartman sends it all the way over to Jessica Kennedy. Kennedy up against the wall here is trying to turn. Able to kind of get a couple passes back and forward. Gets to the feet of Van Valkenburg. She lets it fly. And Swigard has to take a dive. More connections, and now a nice 1-2 touch. Hartman, just wide there. So dangerous moments on both sides here as Swigard once again commits to stepping off her line. Winnemar doing a good job to kind of break up that cross. Uses the wall nicely, but Kennedy loses possession to Summit City. And that's into the netting. Going to be possession for Summit City. And with that whistle, you're going to get our first media timeout. So a lot of things to unpack here. It's already been a couple minutes into the first quarter, and both teams, you can tell they have their foot on the gas. They are ready to get a goal into the back of the net, and that's something that you'd expect, especially with Sioux City FC trying to look for their first win this season. It's just been, something whenever you see Summit City go up against Sioux City, it's always a little bit more of a physical matchup, a little bit more aggression on the field. So something definitely that the officials are keeping in mind. You'd expect to see a couple more whistle calls as the game goes on. With that being said, I'd also take a little bit of time to kind of thank some sponsors here like Main Street Pub, Bolin's Best One Tires, and Thrive for making games like this one today possible. This is the game that is continuing to grow, and it's just exciting to see here. Even me being a part of such a growing league, it's so exciting. Women's Major League Indoor Soccer is just so fun to watch. You'd expect to see some goals here. You can tell both teams are kind of knocking on that door, waiting for it to just pop wide open here as we're just about ready to exit and restart game. Just waiting for the correct setup here to re-enter the game. It's Reyes off to one side of the ball. She's going to take a fake out. Then a couple of whistles, so a little bit of confusion here as some players stepped off their line a little early.
Sorry. No, you're good. Usually you're cool.
And Summer beats Hartman, and that's in the back of the net. A shot here quick after the media timeout as Summit City strikes first. So they were quick to get one in, and that's going to give them a little bit of more comfort now. You don't expect them to let off the gas pedal as the game is still much underway. Hartman for Sioux City FC as they try to respond quickly here. Gets to Vargas, sends it down the line to Hadaway. Hadaway now uses the wall, but there was no connection. There was a late run by Piper Winnemar, but it was a little too late as she battles for the ball in the corner. Hadaway once more, and Reyes is there to help out Swigard. Once again, sent all the way down. You've seen a couple plays like that. Still some one-on-one battles in the corner. Swigard could have been dangerous. And a turn by Vargas is going to be blocked. Lima for Summit City trying to beat Van Valkenburg. Takes a turn. Valkenburg doesn't give it up just yet. Reyes now switches the field. Swigard sends it all the way up. Looks like there was some type of plan there, but not executed well as Hartman safely scoops up the ball, sends it all the way down line, connecting with Vargas, and it was behind Hadaway, so Hadaway has to kind of clean up that pass there. Hadaway connects with the wall, and Vargas just had her back towards it. It was a nice idea. You've seen that connection a couple of times from Hadaway to Vargas. You'd expect them to continue to use that pathway until one of them gets subbed off. Lima now with Winnemar on her back. Summer, that's a shot off, and Hartman with a dive. Doesn't get into the net. Swigard once again off her line. Up the halfway point as she backpedals back a little bit. The wall used once again, intended for Lima. Ricochets all the way out to Reyes. Reyes sends it all the way forward. And now just looking for a turn. It was nice defensive work there to kind of make sure there was no danger with that one. Hartman all the way forward. Connects with Vargas. Vargas was trying to get around, I believe, that Summer and was unable to. As Sarah Bruns lets a pass off wide a little bit. As it gets into this hidden corner where broadcasters like me have a little bit of trouble seeing the corner plays. And it looks like it's going to be Zoo City FC possession here as it hit the netting. Nice shot off the wall. Hurtado using her body to keep the ball safe. Couple of nice moves by Boland. Shot! And that was saved by Swigard. Hartman trying to figure out something here. She sends it all the way up the line, and that was nothing to come out of that one. Musser gets beat. Nadia Anzaldúa tries to help out as she steps onto the field. And a nice slide tackle there by Musser. Good defensive work on the ball as Hurtado now goes one-on-one here. Decides to let off the pressure and get it back over to Musser before Musser gets it up to Maritza Miranda. Swigard. Nadia Anzaldúa right there applying some pressure downfield, and that's something you'd see from her often. Anzaldúa often plays a little bit more of an aggressive style. She'll press Swigard a little bit, test her just a little bit more as Miranda sends it downfield. Not sure if she was intending that for Anzaldúa or the connection off the wall. Lima now, one-on-one with Musser. And Hartman is able to kind of get a clearance, but it's still in the danger zone here as Nadia Anzaldúa has the ball to her feet. After the pass from Musser, she has some room. Gets it off the wall to Maritza Miranda. Falls back to the feet of Musser. And a nice shot blocked there. Musser over to Maritza Miranda. And there is your whistle for the first quarter. A lot to unpack there as Fort Wayne is able to get on the scoreboard. 1-0 here at Let's Play Soccer down here in Portage. We got about a 3-minute break before we come back. Don't go anywhere. And we're set for about 3 more quarters of indoor soccer. Alrighty, and with that, we are back for the second quarter here as Zoo City FC faces off against Summit City. If you missed the first quarter, well, scoreboard doesn't look too bad here. It's 1-0 after the first quarter. A lot of time, a lot of space here for Zoo City FC to get right back into this one as all the players set up on the field. Just going to give everybody a moment to set up quickly here as everybody's just waiting for the second quarter to start. And it's been a lot of what you'd expect here as Summit City continues to try to connect with Natalia Lima down the line. You have Swigard really confidently off her line most of the time. And for Zoo City FC, they started off a little bit rocky, a little bit shaky in that first quarter, and then were able to clean it up very nicely. We're playing their type of soccer, and that's something that captain Jessica Kennedy mentioned as that one got dangerous, and Swigard is able to keep it safe there as Hurtado held back her foot. A nice decision there by her as that would have been a 50-50 ball, most likely leaning towards Swigard, the goalkeeper. And as you can tell, it looks like Zoo City FC wants to respond as Natalia Lima lets off a shot, but that's not going to get past anyone. Once more, dangerous here as Hurtado starts to drive, sends it forward. Kennedy now has Reyes on her back, a connection and a save by Swigard. The shot was let off by Musser, and now Maurer is able to get off a shot, but Musser, a nice shot at that, and then Swigard able to come up with a nice clean foot save. More movement here as they connect downfield with Mosh Tahiti. And Lima now was one-on-one as Hurtado sends it into Mosh Tahiti. Lima on the floor. Boland gets it back to Hurtado. Maurer sends it forward to Kennedy, and Kennedy gets a little bit caught up with Kayla Thomas, number 14 for Summit City. Swigard connects with Reyes. That's something typical to see. Oh, a nice aggressive play there by Musser as she tries to break up the pass to Swigard, and it almost worked out in their favor. You'd expect Swigard to be a little bit more wary of that now. Hurtado with one on her back. Opts to send it back over to Hartman. Hartman gets it all the way up. Swigard with kind of a punched it out type style, but doesn't have a clear clearance. And now Maurer connects back to Jessica Kennedy. Kennedy intended to get that downfield and instead goes direct to Maurer as she takes a second on the floor here, unable to get up, as I believe maybe the wind got knocked out of her. Hartman scoops up the ball cleanly. Yeah, and that hit's going to make Maurer kind of step off the field for a couple minutes. Maritza Miranda steps back on. Miranda with the ball, tries to slip the ball through to Jessica Kennedy. It was a nice idea not Jessica Kennedy, to Musser. Couple of nice moves here. No luck yet as Boland gets it over to Hurtado. Boland now sends it all the way back to Hartman. Hartman gets a clean line pass to Musser. Musser beats one. Tries to beat two as Miranda gets to the ball. And then you got Van Valkenburg back on the field as well, as the connection was almost made with Hurtado. You get a whistle call in the corner. And this is going to be a good opportunity for Zoo City FC to kind of play what they practice, as it's going to be Jessica Kennedy to take the set piece. You got a couple players in the box. battling downfield. Emily Vargas on there. Maritza Miranda. Shot is low. Nothing yet. And then into the netting. Gonna give possession back over to Summit City. So nothing comes out of that opportunity, but it did get a little bit dangerous. And I continue to mention how Sioux City FC continues to knock at that door, continues to apply that pressure and go for those shots and just let it fly here as they're just trying to get onto the board. Van Valkenburg gets her pass broken up. Some movement downfield now. Lima, one-on-one with Hartman, and Hartman gets beat into the near post. So it's going to be another one on the board for Natalia Lima here, as she scores one in the second quarter. It makes the scoreboard look a little bit different here as Fort Wayne sits 2-0 against Sioux City FC. Hartman, quick to pass it off to Piper Winnemar. Maritza Miranda tries to connect with Van Valkenburg. And a couple of touches back and forth as neither team is able to hold possession. Hartman now. Subtle pass over to Winnemar, and now Miranda behind the ball. Gets it to Van Valkenburg. She has some room. Gets it to Vargas, but a little bit too much on the pass is going to make it hard for Vargas to handle. Right to Miranda applying all types of pressure. Vargas able to break up the pass and gets into the hands of Hartman. Hartman gets it over to Van Valkenburg. Van Valkenburg sends it down the line. Maritza Miranda trying to beat one. Lays it off here for Bruns. Bruns connects down the line. And Swigard sends it all the way downfield. It's going to get to the feet of Hartman. So she has some time here to reset. Sets it over to Van Valkenburg. She's quickly met with two. More one-on-one as Miranda's beat. Bruns tries to offer some support here, but no luck. Lopez Cruz gets a couple of passes. A nice slide tackle there by Van Valkenburg. Nothing comes out of it, though. Stolfus sends it over to the opposite side. Stolfus again behind the ball. And into the netting. That's going to hand possession over to Sioux City FC. And that is going to give us a media timeout here as we take a moment to kind of just readjust. Sioux City FC unable to get on the board just yet, but you can tell they're trying to make those passes, those connections, and still trying to get on that scoreboard. As again, I always mention how tension is a little bit high when these teams come one-on-one, but it's always this nice competitive nature, something that athletes always have. Always nice to see everyone put everything they got onto the field. Sioux City FC definitely facing a little bit of frustration as they're unable to score just yet, but do keep in mind that they are able to hold Fort Wayne just down to 2 scores, as Fort Wayne has had a lot of more opportunities to get on the scoreboard. And remember, this Sioux City FC still averages 4 goals a game, so if they kind of go in line with what they're used to, you'd expect them to get on the board pretty soon here. I know head coach Mike Rayburn has mentioned a couple times that this team really comes alive in that 4th quarter, and now they're just kind of finding a way to extend what happens in that 1st quarter and the 4th quarter to the rest of the game. So trying to see if they can make that connection as we're just about ready to get off of this media timeout and restart game here. And just about ready here.
bad blood now.
You can kind of hear it on the field now as both teams are just about ready. Hartman is going to get the ball. She sends it down the line, connects with Hurtado. Hurtado with a nice pass. And off the head, back and forth between Maurer and Hurtado. Swigard gets low. Scoops up the ball there. Back down the opposite way into the corner. Hartman protecting the line well. Toe pokes it out to Hurtado. Hurtado has one on her back. It's Burt on her back there, number 99 for Summit City. As Hartman is going to send it once more down the line. Gets broken up nicely. And those type of breakup and passes is what Summit City is trying to do more often. As Winnemar tries to send it down the line for Bruns, but the official kind of gets caught up in the play there. Bruns once again tries to aim for Hurtado, and that gets broken up. Hurtado comes back defensively, tries to help out Hartman, and it works out well. Sends it down the line to Maj Tahiti. Gets beat by Bruns. Bruns goes direct to goal, and nothing yet. You'd almost wish there was some type of run coming in to help her out. Maj Tahiti from way down deep. It was wide either way. As Reyes lets it fly. And Hurtado's there to support defensively. Off the wall. Some room here as Hartman takes a dive. Make sure it's not going to get in the net there. And there you hear it. A timeout called by head coach Mike Rayburn there. It's going to be a timeout. The first one that's not a media timeout for both sides to kind of discuss their play here. Zoo City FC doing a really nice job still trying to connect those passes, but Summit City, you can tell they're coming up more alive here, able to break up a little bit more of those passes, able to make a little bit more connections. Those one-on-ones is something that Zoo City has been focusing on, want to get more into. Kind of just go one-on-one with players. See if you can be a little bit more aggressive on the ball and take your shots. And you've seen that a little bit more. They've been letting it fly from a little bit more downfield, but still nothing to come out of that just yet. Summit City on the other side, I don't think they're necessarily happy with the board as it looks now. I mean, still comfortably sitting at 2-0. You'd expect them to get a couple more in, especially understanding the type of team they are. Always hungry for more on that scoreboard. And it was Zoo City FC to call the timeout, and they were also the first to get out of the huddle here. Looks like they kind of have a plan of what they wanted to say and what they want to do to finish off the first half here, as there's only about 5 minutes and 30 seconds into the second quarter here. Hartman sends it down, intended for Kennedy, but gets broken up here. One-on-one as Morgan Hadaway goes against Swigard. Hadaway trying to come back and recover into the feet of Lima. Lima now one-on-one with Boland. And they're going to have to send it back to Swigard. Trying to connect off a header there. Doesn't work out just yet as Musser has two on her. You can tell that this Summit City team has figured out that Musser is a little bit of a problem as Lima now faces two. Hartman able to toe poke it out. And they're not out of the danger zone just yet. Stolfus able to clean it up. And Swigard steps off her line again. Lopez Cruz is able to kind of send it off to the side as they try to find a pathway to attack. Lopez Cruz still trying to regain the possession as Lima leaves it off. Still, Zoo City FC working well with the pressure as Kennedy sends it off to Boland. Boland now has to kind of slow it down. Intended for Musser, but well, a little bit too much on the pass is going to get past Musser. And now Natalia Lima on her feet here as she gets one-on-one with Van Valkenburg, and Van Valkenburg is able to kind of get it off to Musser. Musser now has Hadaway, has Kennedy, gets it stripped away, but still maintains a header into the back of the net and score! Morgan Hadaway out the header from Musser. She has been knocking at that door. Morgan Hadaway has just continuously been in the right spot at the right time, unable to kind of break Swigard's goal, and now right there off the header, she's able to get it in the back of the net. A nice goal at that. Quick to reset, but just know all of Sioux City FC felt the goal for Morgan Hadaway. She has been aggressive at that front line, and she will continue to be as Swigard now gets some pressure from Hadaway. I repeated, it was off the header from Musser. I mean, you can't chop it up any better than that. Now Hadaway trying to connect downfield with Musser. She still will try to get it there. And into the netting. Going to be a defensive clearance for Sioux City FC. So once again, I repeat it. It was a Brenna Musser header into the middle of the field where the amazing Morgan Hadaway has shot blocked by Swigard. Where the Morgan Hadaway was lurking and waiting as she does once more. Summit City was sitting on their back leg, and now they've definitely come more alive here. Musser trying to let the shot off into the hands of Swigard, and it almost got dangerous as Swigard wasn't able to maintain complete control. Morgan Hadaway was there and lurking, a shark in the water, as Reyes now tries to get a connection off the wall to Burt, and that doesn't work out. Burt turns. Oh, and that's going to get a whistle here as Boland try to strip the ball and instead clip the heels of Burt. So a different story now as Fort Wayne only sits up one goal. The shot off to the side and into the top corner of the net. Reyes, who has been doing her job defensively, gets one in the back of the net here with just under a minute left in the second quarter. So back into the position that they once were in just a couple of minutes ago as Sioux City sits down 2 goals. Morgan Hadaway sends it backwards to Van Valkenburg. And Valkenburg to Musser. Musser downfield. Hadaway back to Musser. Van Valkenburg trying to get possession here. Gets beat. Moving downfield quickly at that. Burt on the ball. Takes a turn. Leaves it off to the back here to Summer. Musser trying to find some type of way here as the time dwindles down, and there is the whistle to close out the first half of the game. Everybody take a second, take a breath after that one gets a little bit crazy in the second quarter. It gets a little bit crazy in the second quarter. I mean, I still got to give props where props is due, and this team just doing a really nice job right now. Sioux City FC able to find a goal, able to kind of break into the scoreboard and do so well as they get a goal off of Brenna Musser header over to Morgan Hadaway. I mean, that was just beautiful, and you wouldn't want to chop it up any other way if you're Sioux City FC. That is some type of connection that they've been looking at, right? How can you be more creative? How can you connect a little bit more often? And right there, they find the pathway to success. Well, they've tasted success once in the first half, and Summit City, as you know well, They have tasted 3 times here off 3 goals in the first half. So still a lot of indoor soccer to be played. You still got 2 quarters left. And so you're not going to want to leave this game anytime soon, as you have just about 8 minutes, just under 9 minutes now to get yourself a snack, get some water, and get yourself all set and ready for the second half of this game. We'll be right back. Alrighty, and just like that, we are back for the second half as Zoo City FC faces off against Summit City. And let me tell you, it has been an interesting one. You got 3 goals on Fort Wayne's side, and then you got the lone goal from Zoo City FC, as it was off a header from Brenna Musser down to Morgan Hadaway. If you didn't watch that one, I would go back. It was towards the end of that second quarter, and let me tell you, it was beautiful to watch. I talked with head coach Mike Rayburn before continuing into the half, and let me tell you, he said that he loved everything about that goal. He wanted exactly what he wanted to see Zoo City FC play. They were being creative, they were connecting, and he mentioned how hard it is to get a goal off a header in the game of indoor soccer, as Diane Hurtado is set to start off the half here. But he mentioned how difficult that is and how creative it was for them to do that. That's exactly what he wants to continue to see from the Zoo City FC side. As it was a quick connection to Natalia Lima, one-on-one with Bolin. Bolin able to recover pretty nicely as Musser gets stumbled up and out of the danger zone as it connects over with Jessica Kennedy. Diane Hurtado more downfield now. Musser gets beat here, and now Natalia Lima on her front foot driving, able to get to the ball, has it in the corner, connects out, tries here, and that was a nice shot saved there. A lot of room as the pass gets broken up. Had a nice idea by Jessica Kennedy there, captain of the Zoo City FC team. Passes it over to Hurtado. Hurtado with some fancy footwork, drives it on the floor, and that gets punched into the net. It's going to cause a quick reset here. Jessica Kennedy. Now to Musser. Musser, a nice shot saved by Swigard. But let me tell you, something about Musser tonight has been different. She continues to be an outlet for this team, a creative outlet at that, as you've seen that goal in the second quarter off her header. Let me just tell you, she brings that creative spark and the aggressiveness that you need when you're playing a team like Summit City. Maurer, who got the wind knocked out of her earlier in the game, is back for the second half. Natalia Lima takes some time as Bolin applies some pressure. Passes it over into the hands of Hartman. She sends it on the floor, but gets broken up by Sommer. Some work here on the sideline. Hartman sends it down the middle, but that was quick to get broken up by Sommer. Downfield is Hurtado, and into the hands of Swigard. Musser, a little bit too much on the challenge, and the whistle call is going to go in favor. And I'm just getting a pause here as the official writes down the foul, but was trying to see if he was going to take out a card. Luckily, he did not, as Swigard sends it all the way down to Lima. Quick turn and save by Hartman. And that connection down the middle with Lima is something that I spoke with Mike Rayburn during the half, and he said you got to give props where props is due, telling me that Natalia Lima is a great player, and right now he's pretty happy with how Zoo City FC is breaking up the passes downfield with her, as that happens once more here. No luck to be had as Maurer takes a dive. Lima regains possession, sends it back to Swigard. Swigard takes a second, reconnects with Lima. Lima trying to find somewhere, but opts to go right back. Lima looking around, and again, no luck here as Zoo City FC does their job defensively. Still finding a pathway, no one pressuring her. It was on the floor, and Bolin is able to kind of toe poke it out of the way. Reyes with some pressure on her back. Bolin to clear. And Hurtado with a nice kind of touch around. Nothing to come out of it just yet as Ariana Stolfus was able to kind of step with the ball. Bruns had Lima on her front. Ortega now for Summit City. Ortega gets it back over to Swigard, and this is something that you've seen pretty common into the third quarter. Hartman scoops it up before Lima could get to it and sends it all the way downfield into the netting by Reyes. It's going to give possession over to Zoo City FC. Boland gets over to Hartman, as the whistle is going to cut off the play here and give possession over to Summit City. Boland's just taking a tad bit too long to restart play as Reyes now gets to the Swigard. Swigard almost looked like a shot on her own, and it's long and wide. One-on-one in the midfield. Van Valkenburg is on the field as well. She does her job really well defensively. Bruns connects with Hadaway. Hadaway already something in the back of the minds of this Summit City team. Ortega driving. Ortega connects down the middle, and they beat Hartman near post once more. Ortega off the service from Ortega. I believe that was 99. Brenna Burt for Summit City. Summit City connecting. Now has Zoo City FC sitting 1-4 in the third quarter. Piper Winnemar back on the field as she passes it over to Van Valkenburg. Van Valkenburg goes one-on-one with Burt. Burt coming off the high of that goal. Winnemar gets it to Vargas. Vargas almost connects with Bruns. No luck just yet. You got Winnemar setting down in the middle just in case there's any loose ball. Vargas Winnemar had Burt applying some pressure. Still able to kind of send it downfield. And there you see Morgan Hadaway again applying that aggressive pressure, and it's just been working out in her favor tonight. And that was a little hard. Van Valkenburg to Bruns. Bruns with some room, a clearance at the line. And a whistle call here. Just waiting for, as Bruns gets back up and steps off the field here. Hadaway applying the pressure. Nadia Anzaldua sends it high into the netting, but a little bit of confusion throughout right there as it looks like the whistle was in favor of Summit City. And Bruns took a step off field. Connection as Burt tried to send it down, but Hartman able to break it up. Anzaldua trying to make something happen. Van Valkenburg down low, shot save by Swigard. And that's something head coach Mike Rayburn was wanting to see more often. Just let the shot go. Hartman. And beat once more. As Summit City rises 5-1. Hartman still on the floor, slow to get back up. Maybe in a little bit of disbelief as that one gets into the back of the net, but it just seems right now that Zoo City FC has kind of lost a little bit of handle, a lot of emotion in this game, and it's starting to slip just a tad. Nikki Page steps on for the first time. Number 49 passes it off to intended for Maritza Miranda, but no luck as that one gets into the netting. So this game continues to get more and more interesting. And you look at the scoreboard and you might not think it's that interesting, but let me tell you, so much going on as Nikki Page sets up behind the ball. Opts to go to Musser. Musser! Shot saved by Swigard. Lima with Maurer on her. Maurer now switches pressure. Pressuring everybody. And that's what that pressure does. You can tell that whenever that pressure is applied, Summit City has a little bit more trouble connecting passes. Some work in the corner as Maritza Miranda utilizes her strength. Page gets called on a foul against Lima. And it just feels like this Sioux City FC is not too happy with the calls right now. Shot saved by Hartman, and then in the back of the net for the ricochet. Natalia Lima on the scoreboard once more. She was at the right space in the right time, and that's just what happens when she gets behind the ball with that much room. That's going to send us into a quick timeout here and give us some time to thank a little bit more sponsors. Again, this game is just so interesting, so fun to watch, and it couldn't be possible with sponsors like Scooters Coffee, Gnarly Fit, Island Hills Golf Course, and Blue Shore Marine Services. Just really making everybody's dream possible as this indoor league just gets more and more popular. We'd also like to thank the Western Michigan University equipment here as we're using. We'd like to thank Multimedia Arts Technology Program at Western Michigan University for the use of their sound equipment for today's game. Students in this program study music production, live sound reinforcement, and other related fields. Please visit wmich.edu/music for more information. A big thank you to them as we're able to play some awesome music out on the field. You get to hear everything really nice and clearly. Again, what is happening on this field, the score as it seems is 6-1, completely different from what you've seen in the past matchups, right? We talked about how these teams have met twice before. Well, when they met, it was 7-6 and then 6-3 this past weekend. So this is just not characteristic. A lot is happening on the field, and it just looks like this Sioux City FC team needs to connect a little bit more. Again, it gets hard when games get a little bit more kind of emotional and aggressive, and that's just something that these two teams do really well. They play with everything on the field. It's just kind of handling how to channel that as Hartman clears. Swigard now on the opposite side. You'd feel that this team might get a little bit more antsy to get another goal. Lima with a nice touch to settle it down, but Musser with an even nicer toe poke. Emma Boland doing a good job defensively. Lima back heel touch, but Maritza Miranda was there. It was intended for somebody else, but Maritza Miranda in the right spot. Swigard down the middle. Swigard again this time. Gonna get a quick restart here by Hartman. Musser gets it over to Boland before she kind of hands it off to Hartman. Boland now doing some work as it reconnects with Musser. Off the wall, good connection to Maurer, but gets beat at the ball. Downfield, Summit City looking to attack. Maj Tahiti lets the shot off and high. just at the Let's Play logo. Eliana Summer. Now both teams just kind of make something happen here. Lima leaves it off. Shot is low, but a nice foot save there by Mauer as Nikki Page turns. Connects with Mauer. Mauer looks for the back corner. Looks to connect with Musser, and no luck just yet. Page still working at the ball now. Does a good job to break up the pass. And now you're downfield. Still working. Looks like it was a service, but didn't work out just yet. It was a service intended for Catherine Lopez Cruz. Lopez Cruz, number 15 in the Summit City jersey. Boland drives forward, connects with Mauer, back to Boland. Had Natalia Lima on her back, but dealt with it nicely as she passes it off to Miranda. And that pass was just a little bit off. Lima able to kind of separate as Hurtado applies the pressure. Hartman sends it forward to Musser. Musser gets met with Natalia Lima, and now she's driving. Sends it off to the side, and saved by Jordan Hartman. And it was a nice save, but you can kind of see, it looked like Hartman's maybe left knee twisted just a little bit, and that's always a little scary to see. We're going to take a minute here and just give an injury timeout. I'll recap you just a tad here as you look at the scoreboard. Fort Wayne sitting at 6 and Zoo City FC at 1 goal. That 1 goal very nicely made by Morgan Hadaway off the header from Brenna Musser. And as we're here, I'll just take the time to mention to don't miss our Women's of the Match, proudly sponsored by Milestone Senior Services. Catch the full spotlight on our social media channels. You can follow Zoo City FC pretty much just by typing Zoo City FC into any platform, Instagram, TikTok, anything of the matter, and go ahead and follow up. Make sure you also subscribe to the WMLIS YouTube account so that you can watch all the games live and hear my amazing voice here with Zoo City FC. With that being said, we're going to give a little bit of extra time here for the officials and for everybody to kind of just reel it back in here. We'll be right back after a couple minutes. Well, it's always scary to see a player go down no matter what side you're on. Jordan Hartman, with some assistance, able to step off the field, and that's always nice to see. It's always a little bit more heavy when a player is unable to get up on their own, so positive to see Hartman able to make her way off the field. With that injury timeout, it's going to bring in Saleha Ty Baker. She started the first 2 games, I believe it was the first 2 games for the Zoo City FC squad. Really, really nice job at goal here. She is new to the team this year, but Baker, someone that the Zoo City FC team trusts. Bruns now in the danger zone. Almost beats Swigard. And Swigard very lucky as the deflection fell behind her back instead of in front of her. Diane Hurtado was there in case of the ricochet, but either way, very lucky as Piper Winnemar with a nice save there. And you can kind of hear it from the sideline of the Zoo City FC side, but they've got to press together. They've got to apply the pressure together. Only then are they kind of able to break through the fortress that is Summit City. Hadaway, who's just had a tremendous night. Pass over to Reyes. Van Valkenburg tries to connect down with Bruns. More down the field work. And there you go. Hadaway just making her mark defensively and offensively on this team. Bruns takes a little bit of time here. Takes a couple of touches. Gets it to Van Valkenburg. Van Valkenburg lets the shot off, but a nice foot save as that ball goes direct. I believe that's Morgan Hadaway. Yeah, who kind of took a ball right into around her head area, but mostly I think it was her arm and side. Hopefully just the shoulder. And she's able to get up and luckily not needing to step off the field as the Zoo City FC has already faced a couple of injury timeouts. Unlucky here tonight for them. Hadaway is going to make her way off field just to get checked real quick before she gets clearance to step back on. But you straight out firepower for firepower as Nadia Anzaldua steps onto the field for Zoo City FC. Just about ready to restart play here off a drop ball in front of Van Valkenburg. Goes backwards to Bruns. Bruns to Hurtado. Hurtado with a nice turn. Trying to beat two. A lot of pressure on her. And just waiting for the official call here. As the blue card comes out. And it's going to give Zoo City FC an amazing opportunity for a power play here. As you know, the blue card gives Zoo City FC some time to play with an extra, what feels like an extra player. Really, Summit City is going to play down a player for 2 minutes. So this gets a little bit dangerous for Summit City, who's comfortably maintaining a lead, as Zoo City has some time to strike. Bruns gets it off the wall to Hurtado. No luck just yet. Bruns again. Van Valkenburg off the ricochet. Nothing. And it just feels like they're playing a bunch of ping pong out there. As Baker gets behind the ball. Into the netting. It's going to slow down the time just a tad. But again, Zoo City FC trying to take advantage of this power play. Van Valkenburg tries to let off a pass or a shot there and gets blocked. Bolin now behind the ball, finding a pathway to attack. And it just feels like everything's getting shot off. Still on the floor here as Summit City regains possession and clears it out. And that's kind of how they play most of these power plays. They bunker down and send all the balls out. Shot off the sidebar. It was a nice idea. Hurtado with some space. Shot and save. Dangerous after dangerous. And wide once more. It was a continuous kind of just entourage of shots let off right there. It was Van Valkenburg, Boland, Hurtado. It was pretty much everyone downfield who tried to get a shot off and still with no luck. I'd say the closest was probably Boland's off the sidebar. Unlucky for her there. It was a lot of pace. Trying to turn here is Jessica Kennedy. Gets it off to Bruns, off the floor. Foot save by Swigard. So if Summit City has ever wanted Swigard to really come up for them in a big way, it was just now, as Swigard was able to even scoop up that one there. That's the end of the power play as Ariana Stolfa steps back on, the one that was awarded the blue card. And there is the whistle call. There is the whistle call for the end of the third quarter. And it's just going all types of haywire right now. You got a couple injury timeouts. Then you had the final blue card. And now, well, you got a little bit of a break to kind of gather your thoughts and kind of think about this team a little bit more. I remind you once more, don't miss our Women of the Match, proudly sponsored by Milestone Senior Services. Catch the full spotlight on our social media channel. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, anywhere you can think of. Go ahead and follow Zoo City FC, guys. Again, the best way to support Zoo City is to stay involved. Continue to watch the games because, trust me, they only get more and more interesting. In case you missed it, they have been Zoo City FC has been playing with Jordan Hartman at goal for a majority of this game. She kind of had a little bit of a twist in her left leg and had to step off, make room for Saletai Baker. And a couple other mismatches during that time. Now you got about 2 minutes. I'll leave the stream for 2 minutes and give everybody a time to gather and catch their breath. We'll be right back. And just like that, we are back for the fourth quarter. If you thought that third quarter got crazy, well, just you wait. The fourth quarter is where everything comes alive a little bit more, as Zoo City FC is going to start to get real antsy to get another one on the board as they sit 6-1, falling to Summit City currently as Natalia Lima, 2 goals on the night, sets it off for Summit City. Swigard still at goal. A phenomenal job so far. I mean, I mentioned it before we kind of got into the quarter break as Musser drives into the corner. Able to kind of turn around here, trying to get a nice turn on. And Baker clears. But I mentioned it before, I mean, they're really just trying to put everything on the line here. And Swigard has been accepting and answering every call for this Summit City side. As Summer passes it into the wall. Lima passes it out. Looked like they were trying to set up something nice there, but unable to work it out. They had Lena Thomas kind of waiting. It looked like Maurer had some room to kind of turn around and run. She finds a way to spin. Hurtado leaves it off for Maurer once more. And Mosh Tahiti is able to get in there and break it up. Musser applies a little bit of pressure. Now it's up to Hurtado to apply that. Send all the way forward by Mosh to Haiti. Most likely going to reconnect at some point. You can hear your head coach, Mike Rayburn, say pick up the pace. He knows there's only so much time left, but something about indoor soccer is that unless there's only 1 second on that clock, there's always time to score a goal. Bolin applying pressure against Lima. Lima still able to stand upright. Bolin still going one-on-one, keeping it clean. Swigard met with some pressure from Jessica Kennedy as both of them fall at the same time, and a late whistle against Jessica Kennedy is going to give possession to Summit City, and Mosh to Haiti able to come out of that one alive. Summer leaves it off for Mosh to Haiti. Mosh to Haiti reconnects. Attempted shot on the floor, but it gets kind of caught up in the weeds there. Swigard sends it forward, intended for Lima, and that's into the netting. They bring Vargas back onto the field. And shot on the floor and saved by Baker. Baker sends it all the way forward to Vargas. Vargas tried to connect with Maurer, but that gets broken up. Swigard sends it the other way. Maurer brings it down from her chest. Beats the ball before Lima could get there, and then gives it off to Musser. Musser driving, trying to connect. And Vargas lets off the shot, but right into the hands of Swigard. Lima with a high foot, able to kind of settle that one. Gets back to Vargas. Vargas tries to give it a Maurer. And still all over the place. A nice move there to get out of the struggle. And now Summit City's able to turn around. It was number 7, Summer, for Summit City, who kind of had that nice foot save there. Jessica Kennedy got caught up all up in there as well. Natalia Lima, far from goal, but still dangerous as Bruns gets to the ball. Gives it off to Baker, and Baker sends it all the way to Swigard. Piper Winnemar steps back onto the field. Mosh to Haiti gives it to Swigard. And the pressure has not stopped as Bruns gets the ball to her feet. Connects. Oh, and tries to connect, I should say, with Emily Vargas. It was the perfect idea, but it was just a little bit too much pace on the ball and a little bit wide. Shot on the floor and not too dangerous for Swigard to handle. That was Van Valkenburg. And Morgan Hadaway on the field as well. Dangerous, especially when paired up with Emily Vargas. Natalia Lima faced with a little bit too much pressure, had to turn away. Winnemar doing a good job. And then that one sent into the netting for Zoo City FC to lose possession and hand it over to Summit City here. Believe it's going to be, I'm going to wait for it here, but it's Reyes at the ball right next to number 13, Ariana Stolfus. Stolfus leaves it off to Reyes. Vargas doing a good job to kind of get up in there. Bruns, you got Vargas to one side and Hadaway to the other. Opts for Hadaway. Hadaway turns, Hadaway shoots, and it was just too tall at the Let's Play logo. Hadaway leaves it off to Van Valkenburg. Van Valkenburg driving. Shot on the floor. Stopped by Vargas, but Vargas trying to turn. Nothing yet. And it just feels like Vargas has to get on the scoreboard. Van Valkenburg leaves it off to Bruns. And Bruns is going to leave it off to Baker. Bruns gives it over to Baker. Baker of Van Valkenburg. Van Valkenburg to Winnemar, and luckily still left to Van Valkenburg. And shot saved by Swigard. I mean, you just got to tip your hats to Swigard right now. She is just having a phenomenal night. I'm not even sure if I can chalk up how many shots she's faced and how many saves she's come up with. Just so many on the night. Hadaway trying to regain possession, unlucky. But Carmen Swigard has answered every call tonight. I mean, there has been so many interesting attacking powers at her way, and yet she still finds a way to come out of it alive. Stolfus gets it picked off. Vargas one-on-one with Reyes, and Reyes is able to kind of leave it off to Stolfus once more. Stolfus got a little bit dangerous, but it looked like Baker had a nice read on it either way. And into the netting is going to give a chance for everybody to breathe and for Sioux City FC to plan some type of attack here. They've got to answer. 8 minutes and 30 seconds left into the fourth quarter. Hadaway gets it pushed away. Van Valkenburg has one on her back, and she's able to get it to Baker, and Baker's able to send it all the way forward as Hadaway goes one-on-one with Reyes, and as per usual, Reyes is able to kind of battle her way out. Reyes, a really, really shining star defensively for this team. As Miranda gives it over to Van Valkenburg, you have Nadia Anzaldúa, speed and power on the field. And Page getting wrapped up. Gonna give a whistle call in favor of Sioux City FC as Van Valkenburg takes the step behind the ball. Miranda connects with Page. Page reconnects with Miranda. A little bit of work here as Page goes high. It was a nice job. I almost wish that Page would have just took a turn and shot off. But she was unselfish, passed it off to Maritza Miranda, and it was just wide there. Excuse me, tall. So a lot of just back and forth here, and neither team really maintaining good possessions. I mean, you get it down the field, a couple of passes, and then it's broken up on both sides. So something that both sides are trying to answer. Sioux City FC still trying to find that missing key. I asked Mike Rayburn what he thinks is the missing key for Sioux City FC, and he mentioned that they just need to shoot. They just need to get the shot off. They need to finish in that final third and get on the scoreboard, and I couldn't agree more. Sioux City FC does a really nice job of finding these creative ways of attack. I mean, you've seen the header and goal, right? Header off Brenda Mustard to Morgan Hadaway. I mean, that was as creative as it gets, and they were able to score. I feel like if you continue to commit to that style of play, continue to stay true to yourself, which is also something that Jessica Kennedy mentioned, then you got a better looking chance here. You got a better looking scoreboard than what you got going on now. Just about ready to exit out of this media timeout. So a lot of things that Sioux City FC is definitely going to be looking at after this game. They got an early one tomorrow, and don't forget to be there for that one as well. 10 a.m. is going to be the start time for there. A little early, but hey, Sunday mornings are always nice. Enjoy the weather. Baker sends it forward, a nice header to kind of break that up on the other side. Fancy footwork and a nice body save by Van Valkenburg. Trying to push the opposite way now. And more work in that corner as Swigard passes it forward to Reyes. Winnemar applying the pressure. Gets it to the feet of Lopez Cruz. And now Maritza Miranda one-on-one with Cruz. Cruz needing some help. Nadia Anzaldúa with the ball now. Anzaldúa trying to find a pathway as Swigard clears it all the way forward. Connects somehow with Catherine Lopez Cruz. And now some corner work here as Page. And a nice save at the line by Van Valkenburg to keep it nice and pretty here in the fourth quarter. On the floor as both players fall. But play continues. Pushed all the way forward. Baker trying to make sure she still has a nice read on the ball. And really nice work by Piper Winnemar, making sure that she's not beat too close to the net. Anzaldúa beating the one-on-one. And Maritza Miranda almost able to kind of maintain control there, but it was a little bit of a crazy pass to her. Swigard sends it all the way downfield, and the slip ball through is continuing to work for this team. Winnemar trying to make sure everything's nice. Page looking up, trying to connects with Miranda. Miranda sends it towards Anzaldúa. Uses the wall nicely, but no one's able to connect on the final third. Van Valkenburg lets it fly, and that one's high. But something about letting that shot fly, no one's upset on that Zoo City FC. No one feels like that's a missed opportunity, and it's just because they know Van Valkenburg has that power and has that precision. Unfortunate with that one there as play continues here. Swigard sends it forward. Connection with Miranda. Miranda now connects with Nadia Anzaldúa. It was a beautiful ball, but just not the best of positioning as Swigard is able to get to the floor and scoop it up. Hurtado's also on the field, and it looks like both are trying to apply that pressure, as that's that pressure working. Anzaldúa able to kind of break up the pass. Hurtado now connects with Anzaldúa, and that's the goal that they were looking for. I give Nadia Anzaldúa a moment to let it all in and let it all out. It was a pass off Hurtado to Nadia Anzaldúa, and you couldn't have drawn it up any cleaner. That is what they practice every Wednesday. The pass off the board to the middle, just getting it to that middle and having that person to finish off the final third. Nadia Anzaldúa making her statement. So Kalamazoo now sits 6-2. Hurtado gets to Piper Winnemar. Winnemar sends it downfield to Anzaldúa. Anzaldúa lets the shot fly into the hands of Swigard. And still, honestly, the way that Nadia Anzaldúa made her way back onto the field as that one touches the net, the way she made her way onto the field, scored the goal, go ahead and let her take any shot she wants. Able to kind of breathe some life into this team. And with that, you're going to get a quick timeout call. You got 4 minutes and 1 second left in the fourth quarter. And I told you, something about the Indoor Soccer League is that it doesn't matter how much time is left, a goal can be scored. The fact that you have 4 minutes, you can score 1 goal a minute if you wanted to and tie it up here. I mean, it's really, anything's possible. Diane Hurtado, the youngest player on Zoo City FC's side, she scored the fastest ever goal for the Women's Major League Indoor Soccer. It was in, I believe, like 18 or 20 seconds. That is something that is possible. They can have back-to-back shots just like that one and work their way back into this one. And let me tell you, once you breathe even just a little bit of air into this team, they just take it and ride with it. So especially here, they're going to take it and ride with it. As you got a nice set piece here. Three good options behind the ball. You got Jessica Kennedy, Emma Boland and Brenna Musser behind the ball. Leaves it. And now it's Musser to let the shot fly. Connection, turn by Bruns, and no luck just yet. It hits into the netting though, so it's going to give almost like a corner kick opportunity for Zoo City FC. So the chance is not over just yet. Loose on the floor, and Maurer was there but took a tumble as well. So that's nothing's going to come out of that opportunity. One-on-one here as Boland was able to kind of find a way out of the pressure. Musser sends it forward, intended for Bruns, but Bruns was kind of on the opposite side of Sommer. Musser behind the ball, has a couple of options, gets the ball stripped now. Watch to Haiti with Musser on her back. Swigard has to clear it, and she will. Baker now sends it forward. Boland. Maurer gives it off to Musser. Musser off the wall, just wide. Again into the hands of Swigard. To the feet of Natalia Lima. Sommer sends it forward. A lot of pressure, but not too much. And you can kind of hear from that Zoo City side that you want to continue to apply that pressure. Mosh Tahiti kind of connects with Natalia Lima there on accident. Bruns one-on-one with Lima. Step in step. Forces Lima to turn around. As Baker scoops it up and sends it flying. Believe that was intended for Maurer, but I don't think that Maurer and Baker were on the same page. Either way, Boland now continuing to press. Musser gets it to Maurer. Maurer kind of has a chip ball as Musser gets it on the floor. But not before it touches the netting. So possession to Summit City. Swigard sends it forward. Couple of opportunities before Baker is able to push it the other way. Kennedy behind the ball, gets it forward to Bruns. Bruns there, Maurer with a late run, and nothing's going to come out of that. Musser on the back of Lima. And that type of pressure forces Lima to give it back to Swigard. Baker takes a step. Passes it over, and Bruns now applying that pressure and goes in a little bit too hard, giving Bruns the blue card as she dives into Sommer. Sarah Bruns in the penalty box as Zoo City FC has to play a player down. So you look to see how they defend this one. As there's only about 50 seconds left in the fourth quarter. So as long as they can keep it as it looks now. You got Swigard all the way forward, not afraid to step off the line. Musser applying a little bit of pressure. And still they continue to just pass it around the top of the boxes. Under 30 seconds now. Good, nice breaking pass. Van Valkenburg behind the ball. Connects with Boland. Boland tries to send it over to Musser. No luck. Shot is high. And now, you just wait the final whistle. And there it is. The final whistle on this 4-episode drama series. It was a very interesting one to watch. It ends with Fort Wayne up 6-2 over Zoo City FC. And Zoo City FC still looking for that win in the season. And it was something that they were talking about before the game and how they just need one to start it off and set the mood and the tone here. Unfortunate turn of events, a couple of injury timeouts. As you can see, Jordan Hartman there doing, the little handshakes at the end of the game, and you can see she's walking, so that's positive to see. She took a little bit of a twist on her left leg. Had to bring in Saleha Ty Baker for her. Either way, I mean, I'd say that after this game, a couple things to look at if you're Zoo City FC. I think tensions got a little bit high, and you started to lose a little bit of that handle. You started to kind of give up those shots and those passes and let those slip balls through, and that's something that kind of cost them in that second and third quarter. If you're Summit City, I mean, I would say you're happy with the win, but I feel like there's still a couple things that need a little bit of adjustment, including a little bit in the back half defensively. Other than that, Summit City should be pretty happy with their performance today and the score today. As you can see here, as Zoo City FC stays in the huddle and just continues to talk out the game. As important as it is, I talked to Jessica Kennedy about kind of keeping spirits high, especially when you're just a team that knows that you can win. You know you have all the factors for a win, and you just haven't fit all the puzzle pieces together. And she says that they just got to go out there and have fun. They got to go out there and play their style of game, stay true to how they're playing, not how all the rest of the league plays. Because once they kind of stop trying to fit into that mold and continue playing the game that they know, that's when they start to score those goals. You've seen it earlier with the creative header off Brenna Musser to Morgan Hadaway, and then you've seen it later in the game as well. When they get creative, when they let the shot off, I mean, they make goals. So it's just about getting comfortable with that and finding that pathway. Either way, that about wraps it up for tonight. Again, I remind you, don't forget to kind of tune in to our social media channels and figure out the Women of the Match that is sponsored by Milestone Senior Services. Furthermore, don't be late tomorrow. It's going to be 10 a.m. start time for the game tomorrow morning. You got a couple games after that, so stay on the YouTube channel as well. They will be live, and I will be here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. here at Let's Play Soccer to see the Zoo City play once more. With that being said, I'll leave it here. Fort Wayne up 6-2 against Zoo City FC. I'm Maya Pasillos, your home game broadcaster, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.